Thank you very much. Hello everyone, and my name is Yakubu Sab Abdullahi, and as you all know, most of you know me from the invitation and all. I'm a research assistant in the Department of Architecture, and would like to welcome you all to this event, which is first of its kind in Eastern Mediterranean University, and hopefully there will be more of its kind. This is an event that is mostly organized, for the SDGs, which the SDGs in short form of Sustainable Development Goals, which to some of you, the term may be a little bit strange, and to some of you might be familiar with the term. So as you all know, the 17 goals are the Sustainable Development Goals, which is from the United Nations, which I'm not going to talk in detail about it, this is why we're here today, and hopefully we will get the time to dive into the goals and what they have actually in general. Because the thing is, I would just like to give an example to some of the colleagues that I've asked when I told them what is SDGs. Some of them they were like, oh, it's just about environment, climate and all. It is about environment, it is about climate, and it is about everything actually. It is about the life in general. It is about ensuring our life is sustainable, ensuring we have a better life, ensuring that we live a sustainable, a resilient life in general. So this concerns us whether we are aware of it or whether we are not aware of it. So it's about time that we actually continue to raise awareness and also continue to act upon it. Because in some part of the world, they have passed the phase of raising awareness, which they are in the phase of action. But what I will actually suggest that we do at the moment is doing the two consecutively at the same time, raising awareness, getting the information, and also getting into action as we are doing it. Because trust me, we cannot live without the earth, and also the earth actually can live without us. So it's about time that we start to do some actions. It's about time that we actually start to be there for one another, because this earth is all we got. We cannot live in space, apparently. So without wasting much of our time, our program for today is going to be some educative information, lectures, even a video presentation, which will come next. And then after that, I'm sure most of you have the program, and then after that, we will actually go into the event in full. But for now, we would like to have a short video presentation for you, which is going to be played on the screen. So enjoy.
We can be.
We must be the first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
Most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done. The global goals.
a 15-year plan
For everyone, everywhere.
with no one left behind.
We live in a world
where nobody
anywhere lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
Where no one wakes in the morning
asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world where no child is dying.
diseases we know how to cure.
And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world where
everyone goes to school.
and education gives us the knowledge
And skills
For a fulfilling life. We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities and
thrive
and be powerful
and safe.
we cannot succeed as long as
We will live in a world where all people can get clean water
and proper toilets at home,
at school and at work. We will live in a world where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
heat, light.
and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper
A new wealth
Lead to decent jobs.
for everyone.
And we will live in a world
Where our industry
Our infrastructure
and our
best innovations.
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
we will live in a world where prejudices and extremes of inequality
Are defeated.
and
inside our countries,
and between different countries.
where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
and support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
What we consume. Planet where we put back what we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back.
Where we restore and protect the life in our oceans and seas. Restore
and protect
life on land,
Forests,
animals, the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
Where all countries we their people.
work together.
Partnerships of all kinds.
To make these our goals a reality.
These are the United Nations global goals.
For sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
Thank you for your time. So, as you heard, we are leaving no one behind. It's a collective responsibility for all of us to come together and make sure we achieve this mission. So, as you all know, you've seen the 17 goals, which from the first to the 17th of them. And you might ask yourself, what are these goals? What do they entail? What are their targets? And what are their missions? So with this, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Shabnam Oshkara on stage, which she will give us everything that we may need to know about the Sustainable Development Goals. Please clap your hands as she comes on stage.
Thank you, Jacobo. Good morning, everybody, our dear Vice Rector, my colleagues, and dear students. First of all, thank you for sparing your time in between your exams here. It is the last day. I know you will be going on holiday, hopefully. Is it coming? I did. You should minimize that, yeah. Yes, okay. Well, and thank you, Jacobo, for the introduction. We have called this event a call for action at EMU, and wait a minute. Böyle biraz yamuk görünüyor ama anyway. And our dear friend Jacobo named it as We Are SDGs. So this is now our slogan. Hopefully you will all accept it, and we will go from here to the end, let's say. Well, this event has been, or it is organized as a part of, actually it has got 3 legs. The first leg is a research project that I am taking over together with our research assistant and master student Damin Mustafa Adam. And this, the aim of this research is building internal capacity and ownership of SDGs on EMU campus. So one leg is this one. I have been working on, well, for the ones who don't know me, I'm a professor of architecture and urbanism in Department of Architecture, and I have been working on SDGs for about 3 years now, which I think it's a pity because I should have started working on them earlier in 2015. But anyway, nothing is too late. The second leg is a part of our graduate course, which is Urban Design and Sustainability, in which this semester, I have been giving this course for the 3rd time this year. And this semester, I asked my students as a final assignment to design their own event or own assignment, actually. And Jacobo wanted to have an action plan and said that why don't we organize an event? So this has corresponded with my research at the same time. So we brought that together. And the third leg is in the University Urban Research and Development Center, we have been dealing with SDGs for about 3 years now. Every event we do, every step we take, we try to contribute to Sustainable Development Goals. So this event, as Yakubu has already mentioned, is the initial big event for the university. Our aim is to actually bring awareness, but we are already late for that. So we have to do that quickly and we have to take an action. So this is why we call this event Call for an Action. Now, although we have seen very shortly on the video those 17 goals, what are SDGs? These are 17 goals for the world's future through 2030. They are backed up with 169 targets. So each of these SDGs have got their own targets. And they have been negotiated over a two-year period at the United Nations, starting from 2013 to 2015, but it has a background as well. I will show you that. And they have been agreed to by nearly all of the world's nations. 193 world leaders signed up for SDGs on 25th of September 2015. And they were in force starting from 1st January 2016. It was 15 before. Now, if we look at the background of Sustainable Development Goals, actually the term Sustainable Development has started in 1987 with the Brundtland Report, with the famous definition of Sustainable Development. Then we had we can follow several different meetings at again, national, international levels, global levels, and after the event, after the Millennium Goals, which were actually in force before 2030 agenda, those goals try to universally apply to all of them, to all countries, all nations, globally and locally, in order to mobilize our efforts to end poverty, all kinds of poverty, to fight inequalities, and to tackle with climate change. Now, if we consider all this background, what is new? What is newly said about sustainable development? First of all these goals are applied to every nation and every sector. So it doesn't matter if you work in education sector or in industry, or if you are simple, if you are a simple worker. I don't mean simple, but wherever you work, wherever you live, you can contribute sustainable development goals. So this is why we call them that they are universal. Their characteristics is one of the characteristics is their universality. The second one, that it is recognized that the goals are all interconnected. They are part of a system. So you cannot think of one goal separate than the other. So we cannot aim to achieve only just one goal. We must achieve them all. This is why we can say that they are integrative. So integration is another characteristics of sustainable development goals. So nowadays, everybody is like, climate change is the top issue, right? Everywhere, at every place. But it is not only that. When we are talking about sustainable development, we are not only talking about it from an environmental perspective, not only climate change, but all these 17 goals which are integrated to each other. And finally, it is widely recognized that achieving these goals involves making a very big fundamental change in how we live on the earth. So this is called the transformation. With these goals, we try to transform the earth, transform the society, transform our home, our way of living, not only globally, but very locally, within our family. We try to transform the way we take actions, the way we live. It's very simple, and we have been probably been educated of when we are brushing our teeth, we have to turn the tap off. Or when we leave a room, we should turn off the lights. These are very basic things, but these come with our initial living conditions or lifestyles, but they can be very big steps for the whole earth. So we have to change our way of thinking and our actions in that sense. Yeah, you can see here the famous definition of Sustainable Development Goal. Sustainable development as a term which is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. So for sustainable development to be achieved, it is crucial to have a harmonized three core elements: the economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. So this was at the beginning of the idea of sustainable development. But through years, with all these meetings, all these studies, now that we can talk about 5 spheres, 5 pillars, 5 dimensions, which they started with 3 only: society, economy, environment. But now with sustainable development goals, we are also talking about peace, we are also talking about partnership, and we are also talking about culture. So this is a new way of looking at sustainable development. Here we can say that we have got 5 underpinning elements of sustainable development goals. We are talking about, and each of these 17 goals are, or they can be distributed under these 5 elements: people, prosperity, peace, partnership, and planet. So for example, goals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are related with people, whereas from 7 till 11 is related with prosperity, and so on. So we will see these goals very briefly again. I think this is our internet. And just to repeat once more that those goals have an interlinked nature. You cannot see or work on one goal without thinking of others. So this is the way we need to look at these sustainable development goals and take our actions accordingly. Now, I would like to go, Yakubu said that you will learn everything about these goals now, but it is impossible. This is just an introduction lecture to all of you, to the ones who are here. Hopefully we will be able to share the event video on the university or on department or center websites. We are having it recorded at the moment. But the first goal, let's start with first goal. It is no poverty. It focuses on ending all forms of extreme poverty in order to reduce the number of people of all ages who are poor. So taking an action about ending poverty can mean, it can be done with everything, anything. For example, in our university, during the pandemic period, several organizations, several societies, our university rectorate or our unions have provided food to people, to students who were in short of economic conditions, etc. So this is a small contribution to ending poverty. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to be totally poor, but we can do something. We can help each other considering poverty, considering our basic services, our access to education, our decision-making processes. The second goal is zero hunger, which is to eliminate hunger and increase food security and nutrition, connecting to sustainable agriculture development with poverty eradications. So again, eliminating hunger, food services, safety, and basic needs are our keywords in order to provide zero hunger in all world. Of course, I can say that you can think that these are very idealistic goals. You know, how come on earth we can have zero hunger or no poverty? We live in inequalities. You are right if you think that way. But we can still take an action. This is how we need to see it, just to reduce things. United Nations have got their own goals to reach or targets to reach. You know, bringing hunger from like 70% to 20% by the end of 2030, for example. To be able to do that, every single person, every single mayor, every single minister, prime ministers or heads of governments, presidents, locally, globally, should work considering these. The third goal is good health and well-being, which focuses on guaranteeing healthy lives and promoting well-being for everyone in the world. And this is going to improve the quality of life in wherever we are living. I will be giving you the details. When you Google United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, you will be able to find so many different information, depending on your field of interest, depending on whatever you are studying as students. I'm sure you will find something for you. Something for you to learn and something for you to contribute, to give back. Quality education is the fourth goal, focusing on inclusive and high quality education. Everybody has to have access to free, equitable, and high quality primary and secondary education. This is the goal in terms of quality education. So here we are talking about equitable education, high quality education, and we are thinking about everyone, all people. Being inclusive and equitable in education. This is too slow. Maybe we are the lucky ones. You are the lucky ones that you are here. But in the world, in so many different places, there are children, like over 200 billion children will still be out of school in 2030. This is an incredible amount. So we should be doing something for that. Gender equality is the fifth goal. Achieving gender equality and empower all women and girls. Giving equal access to education for all women and girls. Giving equal health care, decent work, and improving their representation in political and economic decision-making processes. Again, here we are the lucky ones, but in different parts of the world, this doesn't happen. Clean water and sanitation, goal 6, is to ensure access to water and sanitation for all. This is going to, again, help us to increase water quality, decrease the diseases, to have clean water to everyone, and it is associated with inadequate water supply and hygiene. Again, despite process, billions of people still lack water and sanitation services. Goal 7 is affordable and clean energy, which is again in the agenda today, also in Cyprus. It is to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. So we need to ensure universal access to modern energy services in our environments, globally and locally. This is going to contribute to, we are talking about energy, but it will definitely contribute to eliminate hunger. It will help us to reach food security, safety, and still contribute to our basic needs. So these are the relations to each of these goals with each other. 789 million people lack electricity. That was the data from 2018. Probably it is increased now. Decent work and economic growth is goal 8. We need to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment, and decent work for all. We need to provide job opportunities. We need to provide quality jobs to every single, every single person after their graduation. So we need to consider decent work conditions for everyone working. Number 9, goal 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. We need to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. We need to invest on that. We need to consider environmentally sound industrialization processes in our fields. And again, inclusive and sustainable industrial development is the primary source of income generation. We have to think about that. But of course, while we are doing that, we have to think about the climate effect of these industrializations. So nothing is disconnected. Goal 10 is reducing inequalities within and among the countries. We need to have universal policies and design approaches to reduce inequalities. We need to have equal conditions in health and education. We need to consider our, again, basic needs. We need to create just environments for everyone. Goal 11 is related with sustainable cities and communities. We have to make cities and human settlements inclusive and sustainable. Considering architecture, planning, urban design, this might sound, maybe not all of you are from those disciplines, but this may sound that this is the most relevant to architects and planners. But no, all the goals are as relevant as goal 11 to us, to our fields. So it is the same with you. I don't know which departments or which programs you are coming from, but you need to think yourself, your field of interest, your study area, and then locate your position within these goals. Some of them will be more direct to you, more directly related with you and with your field, but some of them will be indirectly. But you should find your own place. Goal 12 is responsible consumption and production, ensuring sustainable consumption and production patterns. It is about promoting resource and energy efficiency, sustainable infrastructure, providing access to basic services, green and decent jobs, and again, better quality of life. So if you realize, we keep repeating certain terminology in one goal and then in another goal and then in another goal. Some of them are more dominant, some of them are less dominant depending on the core of those goals. Goal 13 is climate action. We all know, we are all aware, it's everywhere. We need to take urgent actions to combat climate change and its impacts. We have to consider greenhouse gas emissions. We need to consider climate change, weather patterns, and people's lives. People are experiencing the significant impacts of climate change, and we have to be aware of them and act accordingly. Goal 14 is about life below water, conserving and sustainably using the oceans, seas, and marine resources is one of the other goals. So here, water management, how we interact with water, how we transform water, or how we use water efficiently without making it dirty, without losing it, is another task. Life on land is goal 15. This is this time related with managing forests, combating desertification, halt and reversing land degradation. So here we have to think about the forest and conservation of our natural flora, fauna, and natural environment. Goal 16 is related with peace and justice and strong institutions. We need to promote just, peaceful, and inclusive societies, and we need to promote access to justice for all. We need to promote building effective, accountable institutions at all levels. And finally, partnership for the goals. The achievement of goals will not be possible if we don't communicate, if we do not collaborate, if we are not in collaboration. So we need to revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. A successful sustainable development agenda requires partnership between governments, private sector, and civil society. And of course, partnership among ourselves, whichever field we are coming from, whichever field, wherever we are working, not at the top level, but from top level to bottom level, we have to collaborate. We should be having partnerships. Each goal is important in itself. Each goal has got their own targets. Governments, ministries, private companies, universities, local authorities, all civil society organizations are now, first of all, trying to understand where they are, what they can do, and then they are trying to develop their own strategies about what they can do, how they can contribute. So, again, we have to remember that they are all connected, all these goals. Now I would like to ask you, which goal would you like to achieve? Or how can you contribute to these goals? Which goal you think, as a person, as a student, as a future professional, how can you contribute? Now, at the moment, you are at the university. I cannot get rid of this. Now, in the universities, now that we have to think of the role of universities. In the university, we have got our own tools. We have got our own means. Teaching, research, and service to the community. These are the goals, or these are the targets or duties of a university. And not only the faculty members, but also students and the administration and the staff are part of these three tools. So there is always something, one thing or many things that we can do within the university to contribute sustainable development goals. Now here, I believe and I suggest that we should start thinking in two ways. Our university, the student organizations, student clubs, the academic units, the research centers, the rectorate, everybody is already doing something in this university. Here in EMU, we are very rich in terms of student organizations, in terms of academic activities, in terms of research, in terms of graduate studies, you know, all these production, thesis production. But from now on, we have to do it in a more systematic way. Being aware of those SDGs, we should ask ourselves, what we are doing is contributing to which SDG? First of all, we have to understand this. Some of you are representing your student clubs or student societies. So please today, or starting from tomorrow, ask yourself what your society, what your club has been doing is or has contributed to which SDG. First of all, make a self-evaluation. And we should do it in our own, teach in our own courses as instructors. We should be doing at the rectorate level, or we should be doing in a student activity center, at all, you know, points within the university. The second thing is, how can we contribute to SDGs in a more systematic way to the related SDG in our working field? So from now on, how can we systematize what we are doing in order to contribute or in order to be part of sustainable development goals? This slide is from one of my students' presentation. I tried to adapt it for today's event. We need effective strategies, and we need an efficient action plan. simultaneously addressing individual, societal, environmental, and organizational factors affecting students, faculties, staff, well-being, and future success of the university. So therefore, we are calling you all for action, since we believe that we are all SDGs. So let's take an action at EMU today. Let's leave no one behind, which is the motto of Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you for your interest, and thank you for your for being here. Shall we open up the question and answer session?
That was a very informative and productive lecture. I'm sure you all learned a lot from it, and we would like to have an interactive session with you all where you will share with us what you actually think or your experience so far or your knowledge about the SDGs. Anyone?
Morning, everyone. Thank you for you coming. And to be honest, like before taking that course that mentioned Shabnam, when anyone asks me what do you know about sustainability, the first thing comes to my mind is just the environment, only the greenery and nothing else. But well, after taking that course, I understood that there are many things to do and there are many things behind that SDG goals. If we say sustainability, it's not only about the climate or the environment. So I don't know how you think, but based on that, it led me to do a research on World City of Famagusta about the sustainability in general, but especially in the social sustainability. And then I tried to include SDG and how people thinking about sustainable development goals. I tried to create some questionnaires, which is the first one is about if we say sustainability, which words come into your mind first of all, and most of the people, 99%, let's say, including me myself before taking that course, they already think about the environment, which is, I'm not saying wrong, environment is only part of that sustainable development goals. And then most of them, let's say 80%, if we say, what about sustainable development goals, no one has idea. So in this case, I feel we as studying North Cyprus, we really left behind. So by the help of you, if we try to do something in our university, I think people will get more knowledge about SDG as today, as all the, let's say, as she explained all the goals one by one, and then later on maybe it will be spread not only at the university level, but all the city of Famagusta first of all, and then in general, let's say Cyprus in particular. So thank you very much for that invitation. Without taking that course, without having such kind of event, many people, I think, they are in my level at the beginning of 2019, I can say that. Thank you very much.
Yes. All right, so he has a question.
No, I was just showing you.
Okay, Shabnam, thank you very much for this event, and I think it is very important as we are now developing at our university and in society here in the city and in our country. These goals are very important we have to achieve. I have two questions, again related to comments from my friend. In one of the slides, you mentioned about environmental, social, economic, and then two more aspects of sustainability. If we go back to that slide, can you please extend that part, especially peace and
partnership.
part related with the environmental and social, cultural view mentioned. The other thing is, what is your opinion about regulations, bylaws? Will it be useful together with the educating or now emphasizing sustainable development to our community? Should we develop some regulations based on these goals will help, or what kind of, or what is your suggestions on that? So I want to hear this. Thank you very much again for this event.
Thank you, Hocam. Thank you for coming as well. Starting from your second question, yes, we need to adapt our regulations, or even if they stay the same, we need to add certain, how should I say, not rules, agendas maybe. For example, the university should have a say on gender equality, a specific document relating to how in any kind of inequalities we face, or in any kind of discrimination we face in terms of gender, how the university will behave. What kind of actions are we going to take? Like we have already established this ethics board, right? We already have a research center on gender issues, but we should have an official document, just like ethical board document. We should have an official document for gender equalities, for example. So yes, for each of these goals, we should find our ways to establish certain rules, regulations, criteria, or guidelines. Even guidelines would help, so that we know in any case how we can take an action and how we can take an opposite action if something negative happens, if you know what I mean. The other thing we need to do is, well, we probably in March we will be submitting our research report on that, which will include more details. But for example, considering our research agenda, Institute of Graduate Studies can take an action and make a list of all the completed theses, for example, and relate which of them are related which goals. Because at least in our faculty, we have more than 600 graduates, like about 80 PhD students, just in faculty, Department of Architecture, 80 PhDs, 350 master students. And when I look at all their research topics, they're all related with one or two of these issues. So we should have a kind of database relating to what we have done so far. If you can say we can do that from 2015 onwards, completed research, for example, because that was the initial period of SDGs. So from that year to today, we may have the whole list of, for example, completed theses, and then say this thesis is related to these and these SDGs, for example. So this could be a kind of database. Some of the universities have already done such things. Also, individually, they are not rules, but they are small suggestions for the university. We are all doing research, individual or group research, and again, our research articles are somehow relating with at least one of these SDGs. So again, when we make a search, for example, about, let's say, my publications, there should be a system that whatever I'm doing is contributing goal 6, goal 8, goal 11, blah, blah. So those kind of databases that can be reachable will not only show or promote our university, let's say, but it will also show that how much we are doing and how little we are doing, where else there are gaps. So yes, we need to look at our system from the beginning till the end at every point. For the, I don't know if it answers, at least for the time being.
What do you think about the strategic plan of the university?
Yeah, the strategic plan of the university should definitely take SDGs into its core. I think, you know, we have been studying lots of university reports and also some other reports from different sectors. And in each of their strategic plans, SDGs act like a guideline. We cannot do everything. And I'm not saying that we can be expert on all of these. But if we take Sustainable Development Goals as our goals, as a part of our action plan in strategic plan, and as our vision, then this helps. For example, the university, the academic units can say that you need to reconsider or reevaluate your curriculum and see which courses are directly integrated or are directly related to which of these SDGs. We are all going through accreditation processes. When we are doing that, we again have the chance to consider these goals as a part of our teaching system, teaching methods, what we contribute. Or in many different departments, academic units, we organize events. If in the strategic plan, we have a saying that all kind of academic events, for example, will or should be or will be addressing sustainable development goals. So this is a task that the strategic plan put forward. So within our academic units, within the societies, students, then we'll take it and apply this strategy to any kind of future developments, teaching, research, community involvement, etc.
Assess and evaluate at the same time so that you will
Yes.
come to the level that, okay, I managed to achieve these goals.
Yani this is why, first of all, we have to ask ourselves, I know, as I said, we are very rich. We are doing many things. We should look within our own territory, let's say, what we are doing, which one is related to which, and how can we improve it in a more systematic way. Considering the 5 pillars, within the initial definition of sustainable development, we have the society, environment, and economy. So this was initially. Then different international organizations, for example, UNESCO, have studied or have worked on the issue of culture and try to integrate culture or try to add culture as the 4th pillar into the sustainable development system. You can say that society or social aspect dimension of sustainable development already involves culture, but culture is now regarded as a separate, as a more, you know, as equal as society itself. And then with the sustainable development goals, these peace and partnership are already unique goals. So when we are talking about peace and partnership, without communicating, collaborating, and partner with not only among ourselves, but partnership with other universities, if you think of the university system, or partnership with the local government, or partnership with related ministries, doing collaborative work for the country, for the city. They are all regarded as items which affect sustainable development. And again, I know that we have so many collaborations in the university, that we are already doing things, but now, whatever we are doing, we have to be aware that we are contributing to SDGs. Actually, it was this people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. So those 5 keywords, let's say, or concepts are involving different goals under their umbrella. And they are related. This is why that is the circle. It is given in a circle way. There's a question now.
Hello. Firstly, I'm so happy to be here. I'm Muzaffer Alper Gürsoy. I'm representing Isaac Mesevenian. And we are, as Isaac, we are working on SDGs for a long time. This is one of our main focus, SDGs and developing youth. We are an international organization and we are non-profit. And for action plans, we can also create, like all the school clubs are here, I think, the university clubs. We can use our students' HR. We can create a group among us, and whenever there is a project for this kind of SDGs, we can make our members aware about these projects, and we can make them participate. We are already creating projects inside the island, and there are other Isaac committees outside of the country, like more than 110 country, and we can tell you about those projects, and we can send our students outside the country, and they can work on the SDGs. And with the same way, our students, the people here, can help us to create projects, or they can tell us their ideas, and the people from abroad can come here and participate in the project. We were already doing this, like we had saving sea turtles projects before COVID. There were people who comes from abroad and work on that project. Also, we had discovered North Cyprus project for under SDG 8. So actually, if other people want here, also, Hocam, if you also want, we can create a group inside the university, and we can work on these projects in an efficient way. So.
I'm very happy to hear that someone else is also dealing with these directly. Thank you for sharing that information. A group of students have also applied to the university to set up a new club directly to SDGs. And of course, the aim of that club, if it is approved by the university, it will be directly relating with SDGs altogether and collaborating with each other club to develop further activities, to develop further actions. We thought that it would be a good initiative to also for the university rankings, etc., because we know that our university is part of Times Higher Education rankings, impact rankings, etc. And now, in all these ranking issues, sustainable development goals is a question. You are actually evaluated depending on what and how much you are doing for SDGs. So this is why we thought that EMU should have a specific club or organization for SDGs, which is going to, it cannot work alone, which is going to initiate the fire to work with the other clubs and societies. Thank you for sharing. I think it's a good idea to set up a group. I'm sure our students will be enthusiastic about that.
Thank you, John, for this informative presentation. I believe to achieve SDGs, we need to work individually first. Everyone in this room actually think in a different way and more sustainable way, not environmentally, but all to contribute all the SDGs. We actually can influence each other, and this influence can be bigger and bigger, and it will be a collaborative achievement at the end. So first of all, we can, or first thing we need to do to actually think individually. By yourself, think how I can change the environment around me and how I can influence everyone around me. Around me to actually contribute to these SDGs and the environment. Thank you, John, for this.
name is Seifofa. I'm the president of the EMU Model United Nations Club. Thank you so much for the informative and fruitful seminar. I have a few subjects that I'd like to hear your personal opinion about. The first one is that as a global citizen, it seems that achieving these SDGs will be it's not going to happen by 2030. So I am worried that some people, some nations might suggest that this entire project is unrealistic, it's already failed, we should abandon it. So do you think it's a good idea to extend the deadline? The second subject is that you said most members of the UN have voted for this resolution. I am sure some countries are being cooperative while some countries are ignoring these goals completely. Do you believe that there should be stricter rules and regulations for these countries? For example, countries that are cooperating should be encouraged and compensated, while countries that are not, should they face consequences, for example? And lastly, I've been observing that most of the work happening for the SDGs, at least this is what I've been seeing, is only theoretical and maybe academic work. I haven't been seeing a lot of actual projects that are actually making changes. So what do you think about that? Do you think that theoretical seminars are useful or not for achieving these projects? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Again, starting from your last question, when you do deep research, you will find a lot of implications about sustainable development goals. It's not only theoretical. Civil society organizations are taking a lot of actions, and they are changing, and they have got a lot of case studies which have already been implemented. For example, I can give an example from architecture. We have got the relationship of architecture to SDGs, and there's a big report which gives more than 100 case studies specifically designed and constructed with the ideas of SDGs in mind. So I don't think that it is only theoretical. Developing theoretical ideas, talking about them, producing research about these is a good idea. But yes, they have to be implemented, and people are implementing it. There are lots of cases in different countries. I totally agree that some countries really care about them. They work on them. They try to, reach the goals at all levels, in all sectors, and they are very well organized in that sense. But in some countries, they are totally ignored. Can we have any enforcement, empowerment on the countries or on places which don't do nothing? I think no. It is not like the constitution of a country. It's a set of goals accepted and agreed upon by countries, and we have got several of these. We have got Human Rights Declaration signed by many countries, but are we, having total human rights everywhere in the world? No. I believe such declarations, such goals, such outlines, such frameworks are good guidelines for people. And it is up to you, up to the government, up to who is leading, up to your political way of looking, your beliefs, your background, your education. It's up to many things if it will be possible to, adopt them, apply them, work on them or not. But I still believe that it is good to have such guidelines in front of us. And of course, 2030 will not be the end, Probably there are already yearly evaluations by different governments, you know, cities, clubs, NGOs, etc. Yearly evaluations, and towards 2030, there will be more, you know, bigger perspective to see, to assess how much of these goals, these targets we have reached, how much are left behind. Probably from then onwards, we will have either expand these or have a new set of goals. As long as life goes on, we will have these kind of guidelines, which I believe are good for the humanity, for people, and for the earth. I don't know if it answers your questions.
Hello. Hello, John, and hello, everybody. I am Kıvanç, and I know my name is hard to pronounce, actually. So I just want to talk about a project which is happening in our school, in our university. It's about the stray dogs and cats, and its name is Kısırlaştır Teşat. It is a Turkish name, and spay, vaccinate, and leave. What we are doing, actually, we are gathering the waste foods from the restaurant. You know, there's lots of restaurants in our campus, so we are gathering them. Then we are separating them with the volunteers, and we are feeding dogs and cats with these foods, actually. And every night at 8 o'clock, we are feeding them. Actually, I think it's about also our second goal, zero hunger, because the being hungry is not just about humans. Absolutely, it's about the animals also. And the humans can say, like, I'm hungry, but they couldn't say, and they can't say. So actually, I'm inviting you to being part of it, because if you see them when we are feeding them, you can see their happiness in their eyes, actually. So
thank you. We are not leaving them behind either, huh? We are leaving no one behind in our campus. We are trying our best.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Merveille. I'm the president of Congolese Society.
Which society?
Congolese.
Congo. Okay.
Yeah. First of all, I want to apologize because of my English. I'm from French country, so sometimes maybe pronunciation will be no good. Yeah. I wanted to give my opinion about the project. It's a very good idea. I used to do it in my country. By the way, I have a small enterprise. I call it Wonder Tech. It's working about greening Africa, solar energy, and so on, because I'm doing also electrical engineering here in EMU. So my opinion is like, it would be better next time also if they can give every student opportunity to be in this place, because what I learned today is too much, and I think it can help me also to do better tomorrow. That was the first, and the second one is about what my friend just said, to create some clubs like in every society, so we can work together, and even for our final project for school, I think we can also see the way you say according to SDG, I think, and we can create our final project, and I think in 10 years this world will be better if everyone put his hand in this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, while we are waiting, I was going to suggest maybe you can again communicate among yourselves that maybe at the beginning of next semester, the societies and the clubs can make like 5 to 7 minutes presentations about what they have been doing, because yes, you are involved in your own club or society, but are you aware of what is happening, what your other friends are doing? So let's organize an event that each club makes a 5-minute presentation with what they are doing, and then say a couple of things about what they can do which SDG they would like to contribute to. Then this way you find out that, as you are saying, those, let's say club 1, 2, 3 comes together to work for SDG 6 and 7, and then some other clubs work on SDG 9 and 10. So then we have these hubs actually, so that they work together and then they can come together again, which becomes like a bigger, you know, ball in the end. It's like a snowball effect, huh? Yes, Hocam.
I hope it's, can you hear me? Yes. Thank you very much, Shabnam. I just want to add something to this. It is a very good idea that the student clubs communicate and coordinate themselves, but they have to ask us also, what are we doing? I mean, this is the second thing. Maybe we could have something like this for the faculties, because what are we doing in our faculty? For example, I cannot ask the students to do something if I'm not doing it on my own. So do I do waste reduction? How do I use efficiently the energy? What do I do personally against poverty? So, I mean, that is the other issue. For example, also your son, my daughter is studying in London. What they do is they demand from their faculty. They demand to trace, for example, the products. Where does it come? Is any child labor working for that product that I'm buying here? So these are the things. So you have to be critical as the new generation. We are just those who can give you the, let's say, the theoretical maybe basis for that, but you have to be critical and think about those sustainable development goals also in practice. So just talking about will not be enough for you and discussing it, but you will have to do actions for yourself. Yeah.
We have also from Department of Architecture proposed a new university elective on sustainable development goals. Hopefully it will be in effect not next semester because we were late in that, but next year. So this might also help a wider group of students, not only societies and so on, but a wider group, so that we can increase this kind of awareness. But I think for the academic units, for faculty members, whatever has to be done it is not, I shouldn't say should, but if people are not aware, we cannot accuse them. But if the university can have this in its strategy and action plan, then it will, you know, blow the lamps, I think, or do the fire, I would say. Shall we take it as the last comment? Because there are exams afterwards.
All right, I would like to thank everyone who contributed to this insightful session. I'm Ghazi Ahmed, the Secretary General at Voice Cyprus, which is a student-based organization that deals with the challenges that international students face in the TRNC. This whole session was really insightful, and it really resonated with the work that we do. Some of the sustainable development goals, especially access to healthcare, tackling institutionalized discrimination, tackling gender inequality. I feel like those are worldwide issues, but they're also prevalent within the realm of our experiences as students in the TRNC. And my question is with regards to the institutionalized issues that are beyond individual actions. I feel like everyone who is here today is already enthusiastic enough to do some sort of individual action, but there's also institutionalized obstacles that prevent us from impacting or enforcing positive change within the community, locally and worldwide. So my question is, how can we encourage more institutions and the relevant stakeholders to join the action and participate in such events in it?
Thank you for this. I think, unfortunately, as Lamin has mentioned at the beginning, that Cyprus is somehow, or our society at the moment, is left behind. So we need to start from that point, and we need to accelerate. We need to, lots of people are not aware. People are aware of climate action, yes, climate crisis, yes, but they're not aware of the whole picture. So this is why the ones who are interested, at least if we can reach 50 more people, then it will be like a growing society who are involved in these issues, who will have some light in their minds, and then this is going to be like a force to the faculties, to the departments, to the programs, to the rectorate, to whoever all these institutional administrators are, and then we look at it from a holistic perspective. I think this is what is missing. Yes, we are individually working, struggling, you know, trying to do something, but this is why it needs to become systematic now, so that it goes beyond theories, beyond talks, but it becomes an action or several actions. And I agree with you that it needs to be institutionalized. Well, I think our time is almost over. Yeah, we have a very short video to show, and then after the video you are invited to see the exhibition outside. This exhibition has been produced by last 2 semesters students. Their topic was a role play. I asked my students to have a role. If you were the prime minister of a country, what would you do to contribute SDGs? If you were a rector at a university, what would you do? So these kind of role plays, they have presented them in a poster, academic poster format. If you're interested, you can see them. It was a good play for them. I think it made them to think from different perspectives, and hopefully we are going to improve these in future. If you want to say the last verse, then we end up with music.
We can also ask a question. So since we did a role play of realizing or thinking ourselves as the mayors or the governors, you as a club president or you as a society president, what will you do, or how would you contribute to actually the SDGs? As we've seen in the presentation, at least start somewhere, maybe with a goal, maybe with 2 goals or something. So it will be a good start as maybe a collaborative learning, collaborative planning, which maybe, as our friend here suggested, all the societies to come together, which hopefully we will soon have the SDG club. And as I told you, okay, speaking from experience from our own part, you're all president of societies, which our friend was saying, all the students could be here, but you know, due to exams and all, we took the logic of inviting the society heads and the club's heads. Reason why is because as a society president, if you are here, it's like all your societies are here. As a club president, if you're here, it's almost as the same as all your societies are here. So as a pioneer event, and also for a start, and as I mentioned, more of this will come in the future, which we will collectively involve all our students that we are representative, and also the clubs that we are representing, to actually do this together collectively. So with this and with this information you learn from here today, we would like you to pass this to your societies or to your students that you are representing, and also incorporate this to the events that you are actually planning. Also, speaking from experience, I am also part of the student leadership. I'm the leader of the Nigerian Student Society here on the island. Also, we have a program which is still ongoing, which we call it the Food Bank. And as you know, that the second goal of the SDG, zero hunger, we are actually on a mission to combat hunger. Anyone that has the will to donate, we accept, we keep it, and if anyone needs anything, any food, we give. So regarding with all this kind of a thing, so as Hojam also explained in her presentation, directly and indirectly, you have so many ways of achieving these SDGs. For example, you decide maybe once in a week you come to the office without your car, you leave your car behind. You are contributing to the climate change goal. And also at the same time, you are also contributing to the third goal, which is healthy life. As we all know, healthy life, which means having a walk, having exercise. You're also contributing to that. So indirectly and directly. So with this, we all have, a way to contact all of you. So further plans and further events, we will surely come together, have a group, and also try to see how we can collaborate and also move forward. So we will actually go to the video, which is a bit entertaining video. which highlight all the goals also all together.
Who's gonna feed the hungry? Who's gonna be gender-free? Who's gonna make the food healthy? Who's gonna teach us to read? Who's gonna keep water clean? Who's gonna make the future clean? Who's gonna keep energy green? Who's gonna end climate crisis? Who's gonna keep life in oceans? We gotta grow with justice and peace. We gotta grow with justice and peace. Who's gonna keep our soul alive? Who's gonna give us decent jobs? Who's gonna end inequality? Who's gonna build sustainably? Recycle, reuse, reduce. Conscientiously produce. Recycle, reuse, reduce. Conscientiously produce. It's not just you, it's not just me. It's all of us. Why can't we see? It's not just you, it's not just me. It's all of us who want to believe. It's not just you, it's not just me. It's all of us. Why can't we see? It's not just you, it's not just me. It's all of us who want to believe. It's not just you, it's not just me. It's all of us. Why can't we see? It's not just you, it's not just me. It's all of us. Why can't we see?
So that's the end of our program for today. And I would like to thank you all once again for coming and attending, which, as I told you, more of this will come in the future. So now we'd like you to actually check the exhibition which is outside, but before we go, we may like to have a group picture of everyone, please, if you may come forward. Yeah, on stage, I think.
Yes, please. We can be in the...
Yes, this is nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.